coming up on UIWtv. See how shortening attention spans are affecting the entertainment industry. Next up, find out how students get involved with the Ash Wednesday holiday approaching and what can we expect. Finally, check out how students are finding creative ways to make money. All this and more coming up on UIWtv.
Hello and welcome to UIWtv, where we bring you all the latest in news, entertainment, and sports. I'm Alejandra Ortiz.
And I'm Lailah Fleming. Thank you for joining us for our first newscast of the semester. We hope your year has been off to a good start.
That's right. And now that 2026 is here, Lailah, any hopes for the spring semester?
Well, I'm looking forward to going to the new matcha cafe. They have new flavors.
Ooh, that sounds really good. You know, I always love me some matcha, and I'm gonna need plenty of matcha and plenty of coffee to make it through this semester. I'm graduating already in May, and so time really does fly. But of course, there's lots of things that we can do on campus and in our community. And let's check out what our first story of the day is. The polio disease is almost eradicated. Cases of polio have widely decreased by 99% since 1988. The Global Polio Eradication Initiative hopes to have 0 cases of polio by the year 2029, though current border disputes and health worker safety continues to stall the initiative. Now the remaining areas with outbreaks are down to Afghanistan and Pakistan. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention still advise routine vaccinations for international travelers. For more information on that, you can visit CDC's Travelers Health website. And that's not the only epidemic that we're looking out for. Shorter attention spans are now becoming the norm. Film studios are trying to find new ways to hold younger audiences' attention. However, this is stifling creators. Studio priorities are shifting away from detailed scripts to more flashy explosions. The goal? To keep younger audiences focused on the screens.
Storytellers need to prioritize having better dialogue and better storytelling first, and then they can work on how to attract the audience.
Due to the rising use of social media and overall fixation to our phones, we're beginning to see an impact on how movie scripts are developed. Many are headed towards distraction-friendly content rather than engaging audiences through narrative depth.
Now from engagement on screen to engagement in civic life, UIW hosted an event to teach students the importance of their vote. Reporter Maurilio Cruz has more.
Students gathered in the Joros
Voter
Ballroom
registration
for a
is
event aimed
now
at increasing voter participation, particularly among college students. Held in collaboration with the Etling Center, the event focused on removing barriers that often prevent students from voting. San Antonio Mayor Gina Ortiz Jones served as the keynote speaker, alongside community organizations including the League of Women Voters, the San Antonio Filipino American Chamber of Commerce, the Radical Registrars, and the San Antonio Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority.
We just want people, citizens of Texas, to vote, make their voice heard, and make a difference in their community.
Students were given the opportunity to register or update their voter information on site, with representatives available to answer questions and guide them through the process. Organizers say college students often see lower voter turnout for a variety of reasons, but the goal of this event was to ensure that a lack of education or access was not one of them.
Students alone, if college students alone in San Antonio would coalesce and go out and vote, they could elect the mayor every single time. That's how much power voting can have, right? And the young people right now have the opportunity to do that.
Mayor Ortiz Jones later opened a Q&A session before heading into the campus cafe, choosing to go directly to the students. There, she continued to answer questions and speak one-on-one, emphasizing the importance of civic engagement and ensuring that student voices are heard. For UIWtv, I'm Maurilio Cruz.
Voter registration is now closed, but if you're registered, make sure to mark your calendars for the primary election on March 3rd. UIW's Fike High School of Pharmacy announced that their class of 2025 ranked #1 in Texas for the highest pass rate on the NAPLEX exam. This is a required test for graduates to get their pharmacy license, and the Fike grads got a 97% passing rate. They were also ranked 7th in the nation out of 100 schools. In 42 schools, these are highest score Fike has ever seen. And the first time in history that Fike has been ranked first in the state. A big congratulations to the class. Catholics across the campus and around the world honor Ash Wednesday. It's a day that signals the start of Lent and a season of reflection. The day of Lent symbolizes 40 days of fasting leading up to the Easter. For many UIW students, February 18th marks the first step in a season focused on personal growth and spiritual renewal.
I think many of us, and I say us, we are busy. We are busy with
The
assignments,
ashes.
grading papers, world, family events that's going on. Ash Wednesday causes us to take time out.
The ashes that are distributed are collected from the burning of palms on Palm Sunday. UIW Mission and Ministry will hold Ash Wednesday Masses in Our Lady's Chapel from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. with a Spanish Mass at 6 p.m.
Construction continues across UIW's campus with Founders Hall making steady progress. Founders Hall is a new project currently under construction. The building will house the School of Media and Design, the School of Science and Engineering, UIW Police, and UIW Health Services. It is expected to be a notable part of campus life as progress continues. Students can look forward to seeing how this new space fits into the future of UIW.
This opportunity came around, we just couldn't pass it up. It's going to be a huge extension to the university, transformational spaces for the students, and really a great opportunity.
Founders Hall is the largest renovation project in UIW history. UIW acquired the former AT&T office building in 2019. The project received generous donations, including one from Miss Jane Cheever Powell. Doors to Founders Hall are expected to open in 2026. Now, we can't look to the future without checking our weather first. Khalil Ray is here with a forecast.
Good afternoon, San Antonio. I'm student meteorologist Khalil Ray, and let me just go ahead and tell you guys, right now it is beautiful outside. Temperature sitting at 69 degrees when the wind is coming in from the south at about 8 miles an hour. But overall, those clouds have started to burn away just a bit, so we are starting to see some of those peaks of sunshine. And that's going to continue on throughout the afternoon as we expect it to reach the upper 70s, 79 degrees by 4 o'clock. And of course, we are going to drop back down into the low 70s and then 60s as we go into the overnight hours. Now, I know a lot of us are really focused on what our Valentine's Day forecast can be. And here's the system that we're going to be watching. What we're going to have is a Pacific system that's going to come on all the way across the Pacific Southwest. Going to kick up some moisture and bring in some of those rain chances, probably about 80% chance, especially in the afternoon hours, especially up and down the I-35 corridor by about that 6 o'clock time period. So if you do have any weekend plans, definitely plan around that. But we are expected to clear out very fast, as a matter of fact, as we have that high pressure that's going to settle in, bring us some of that sunshine back. And again, temperatures are going to be in the upper 70s. But we do also have a severe weather outlook, about a marginal risk. Nothing too crazy. We do have that slight chance for some large hail, some isolated damaging winds. But again, most of that is going to be areas to the east of San Antonio. So definitely be on the lookout for that and bring an umbrella. So again, looking at that Saturday forecast, most of this is going to happen in those evening hours. Temperatures are going to be in the upper 70s, so it's not going to feel great at all with that humidity up there and those low clouds before we do see that rainfall push through. But again, by Sunday, we are expecting that sunshine to return in full, and temperatures are going to be nice with lower humidity. So also I have to mention, of course, when it comes to rainfall, we got to talk about the drought situation, guys, because we have been under an extreme drought for the longest time. So any rainfall that we could really see, man, it would be very helpful. You can see Barrett County, Comal County, Guadalupe County, all of us, we really need that rainfall. It's just really unfortunate that it happens to come on a day that none of us want it to. So again, looking at our 7-day forecast, upper 70s to low 80s is what we're expecting. Again, 80% chance of showers and thunderstorms going into Saturday evening. We do clear out as the high pressure settles in by early next week before, unfortunately, we do see some of that moisture returning. And of course, along with that, that just uncomfortable and unbearable humidity. So of course, guys, stay safe out there and have a happy Valentine's.
Thanks, Khalil. We'll be sure to have our umbrellas ready just in case. UIW has hosted National Night Out since 2014, and the tradition is still going strong. The annual event is designed to build community and to educate residents about safety resources. UIW is celebrating another year of recognition for participating in the 2025 National Night Out celebration. This is just one example of UIW's commitment to the safety and well-being of their students.
But it's not just safety education. UIW is also known for their creative students, especially those in School of Media and Design. What started as a skill for one student has grown into a business they now run as a side hustle. From a young age, Rebecca Craig loved clothing. She now runs a business doing custom alterations for students. She says turning her creativity into a source of income hasn't always been easy. And even though it's important to stay motivated, it's also important to take care of yourself first.
I needed to get away from anything. I just went to sewing. That was like what I went towards. Then I started altering people's clothes. I made a lot of money from that, and I made a small little business from it.
As more students look for flexible ways to earn money, stories like hers show how creativity can become more than a passion or a fashion class. It can become a pathway toward a future career connected or beyond a major. The Animal Defense League of Texas is offering their adoption special, Perfect Match. McKenna is live at the scene with more. McKenna, what are we looking at?
Thank you so much. Today I'm here in the Animal Defense League Hall Jolly location with Katarina Gutierrez, the marketing specialist. How are you doing today?
I'm doing so good. Thank you so much for visiting us.
Yeah. So first, can you tell me a little bit about what the Perfect Match is and what your inspiration was for that campaign?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we know February is the month of love, and it's also Senior Pet Month. So we just felt it was a perfect opportunity for us to give folks a chance to bring in a new forever friend during the month of love.
Speaking of forever friend or forever friend, I see you have a little bit of a fur animal here. Can you tell me a little bit about her?
Here is Miss Coda. She is 2 years old, and she got transferred into our care from our friends at Animal Care Services in November, along with her 8 puppies. And they've all been adopted, so she is now ready to find her forever home, her perfect match. And she's so sweet, so loving, very chill, will be a perfect office dog.
Yeah. So what is the adoption process like for Coda or any of your other animals here?
Absolutely. Well, again, we really want to hyper fixate on that perfect match opportunity, right? So you just come in, you tell us what you're looking for. If you're someone that's a little more active, wants a friend to go running with, or if maybe you're a couch potato, just want somebody to chill and watch Netflix with, we will have the perfect pet for you. So tell us what you're looking for, and we'll do our best to find your match.
Yeah. So I know myself and a lot of other people are often looking to volunteer with animals or just be around animals. What are the volunteer opportunities here like, and how can a student get involved?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are totally volunteer driven. It's how we're able to support all of the pets in our care. We have hundreds that we care for every day. And so if you're interested, we have so many different departments that you can be involved in, whether you want to help us write pet bios and take pictures or take them on walks or help give baths. Definitely an opportunity for you. You can visit our website, adltexas.org/volunteer, sign up for an orientation and get started.
Well, thank you so much. And back to you in the studio.
What an adorable way to spread the love to our furry friends. And now that Valentine's is coming up, any plans this weekend, LA?
Yeah, actually, I'm planning to hang out with my boyfriend. We're going on a date since we're long distance, so he's coming into town and we're hanging out. What about you?
Well, I was planning to send more gifts to my boyfriend. We're also long distance.
Yeah, I guess we're on the same boat then. And I really hope that our viewers have their plans for the weekends. And there's plenty of ways to celebrate. So let's turn it over to our first social media question. This week we asked, look at your responses right after the show. For now, stick around. UIWtv will be right back.
You know, Jamie really needs to start knowing when to mind her own business. Professor Richardson? Whatever. It's just not my place to be sticking my nose into other people's businesses just because of some civic duty. Maybe she's trying to teach about responsibility.
No, tell me why I got a notification from your account from freaking Cassandra asking if you wanted to hang out.
Listen.
You were supposed to have dinner with me. Would you rather go hang out with Cassandra?
We have.
Am I not good enough for you?
No. We have something to work on, okay?
Do you have any plans for over the break?
No, I don't really have any plans. Just same old, same old. What about you?
I mean, I don't have anything, but there's always things I want to do, and I just never end up doing.
I don't have to say something, but I should.
All it takes is one person. If you or someone you know is experiencing emotional abuse, text CONNECT to 741741.
Yeah, let's go off the train. I'm heading that way. Yeah, man, I can meet you outside.
They're people, not monsters. If you're struggling, call or visit 211 for help.
You are watching UIWtv.
My name is Kase Victoria, and I'm here to bring you all the latest buzz in entertainment news. Josiah Film Festival showcased numerous youth films. Here is reporter Denise Rivera with more. Well, thanks Denise. Personally, my favorite film was School Hunting with Major Wild. The big game halftime show in Santa Clara, California has everyone talking. Puerto Rican musical performer Bad Bunny was watched by 135 million viewers. In the middle of the performance, a man and a woman appeared in the middle of the show wearing a white tux and gown. They were actually revealed to actually getting married in the show itself. Bad Bunny even signed the marriage certificate. However, this performance was more than just a wedding celebration. Many applaud him for his representation of Latinos in all their countries of origin. On the topic of celebrations, UIW recently amped up the hype around Valentine's Day with more recent events gatherings. Reporter Maurilio Cruz has more.
The Friendship Garden transformed into a lively gathering space as UIW students took part in this year's Sweetheart Social, an event organized by Campus Engagement to encourage connection among both residents and commuters.
These events during midday really get our commuters here. Commuters, I know, often don't feel very included in school, appreciated, but we want to make every student feel like there's something for them to do on this campus.
Lines formed well over an hour before the event began, highlighting just how anticipated the celebration had become. Students received a passport upon entry, outlining a series of activities they needed to complete in order to earn a reward, that being a UIW sweatshirt or one of 6 themed plush bears. Among the activities was a love quiz, where students discovered their love language, followed by Love at First Bite, which let participants decorate cookies. Students could then stop by Cupid's Flicks for photos under the decorative arch or in front of a ring light, while others took a moment to unwind at the Color a Page station.
We all get so stressed out during exams and with our work, so these little times that we get to interact with each other, it's definitely what UIW is made of, a small community, so definitely important.
The event also featured the Sweet Exchange, where participants shared a positive affirmation about themselves, and Will You Accept This Rose, which offered students a choice between a carnation or rose that they could choose to have festively wrapped. Cupcakes and sweets were placed throughout the garden, enhancing the welcoming atmosphere. With continuous activity, friendly interactions, and a strong turnout, the Sweetheart Social successfully created an environment where students could meet new people and provided students with a memorable kickoff to the Valentine's Day weekend. For UIWtv, I'm Maurilio Cruz.
What a fun and giving way for students to relax, celebrate, and build new friendships ahead of the Valentine's holiday. Now, it's time for Lights, Camera, Action. The UIW Film Club has a new slate of films this semester. Students gather in the Com Arts Building every Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. to brainstorm. The club is collaborating on new ideas for comedies, tragedies, and coming-of-age stories.
Trying to work more on like indie minimalistic films as possible, where they're minimalistic in a way that the story is clear.
The UIW Film Club is always looking for new members, and you don't need to be a film major to join. Writing a story, casting calls, and making a film is a challenge, but students overcome it when working together. NFL player and former UIW football player Cam Ward is the topic of a new documentary series. Zero Star, the Cam Ward story, recently screened in the library auditorium. The series, produced by Firebrand Media, highlights the story of Ward's dedication and perseverance. Producers Josh Clayton and the Cam Ward family were in attendance.
And then, being the #1 player in the NFL draft. So it just goes to show that you can be anything you want to be. It doesn't have to be sports as long as you're willing to work.
So if you love something so
Proud to represent such an inspiring alumnus like Cam Ward, and hopes his story can inspire not only the UIW community, but anyone who thinks there's something they can't do. You can catch the documentary streaming on Tubi. Speaking of films, Michael Barrett is back to bring us the first final cut of the spring 2026 semester. What do you have for us, Michael?
Welcome back to The Final Cut. I'm your host, Michael Barrett, and today I've got a double feature for you, because in this episode I'll be discussing two different films. First up is Iron Lung, which released on January 30th, 2026 in the United States. The film was written, directed, and stars the American YouTuber Markiplier, and is based on the 2022 video game of the same name. Produced for only $3 million, the film has already grossed $37 million at the box office, and is a definite win for indie and low-budget filmmaking. But how is the movie itself? The film follows a convict named Simon, who was involved in the destruction of a space station. The jury must have been iron hung, because as penance for his crimes, he is forced to pilot a submarine through an ocean of blood. The visuals and atmosphere of the film are definitely the standout features, and I especially love the camera being our only glimpse of what's outside the submarine. The constant threat of running out of oxygen, the submarine not being able to withstand the pressure, and of course the creatures outside are all great for keeping the tension high. But I found the plot of the film to be convoluted, confusing, and sometimes iron dumb. This is a film set all in one location with primarily only one character, which does of course limit the ways that the audience can be fed exposition. Despite narration at the beginning, flashbacks throughout, and several exposition dumps, I still don't feel like I understood everything that happened in this film. And I'm not just talking about the lore of the universe. When the movie was iron done and my friends and I left the theater, pretty much all of us disagreed about what had actually happened. I also feel like there was one big missed opportunity, specifically relating to the camera on the sub being an X-ray camera. I thought it would have been a great reveal for the skeleton Simon photographs to be revealed to be monsters with skin and tissue, just showing up as skeletons because of the X-rays, but this was not the case. Overall, I'd have to give this film a 2 out of 5 pixelated fish monsters. I really wanted to love it, and the reality of not even liking it, definitely iron stung. Next up is 28 years later, The Bone Temple, which released on January 16th, 2026 in the United States. The film was directed by Nia DaCosta and was a direct sequel to 28 Years Later, released in 2025. The film depicts the post-apocalyptic setting exceptionally well, and I found Ralph Fiennes' character, Dr. Kelson, extremely interesting and likable. This is an incredibly competent and well-made film, which makes the reality of it bombing at the box office even more disappointing. Usually, I'm not a fan of mean-spirited horror films like the Terrifier franchise or certain Saw entries. While I don't believe that The Bone Temple is a mean-spirited film, there is a scene maybe a quarter of the way into the movie that is so uncomfortable and difficult to watch, I genuinely wanted to leave the theater. I'm glad I didn't though, because if I had, I would have missed the greatest set piece I've ever seen in a film. I did not know Ralph Fiennes had it in him to go that hard, and I would never doubt the man's talents again. The Bone Temple isn't going to be everyone's cup of tea, but I think it fully succeeds in everything that it sets out to be. That's why I'm happy to give it a 5 out of 5 fingers, for the first time ever in the history of this segment. But that's all I've got for you today. I'm Michael Barrett, and until next time, thanks for tuning in to The Final Cut.
Thanks, Michael. Me personally, I thought Iron won in the box office. Finally, Ellie Vallor is back to bring us the first music in a minute for the semester. What do you have for us, Ellie?
Welcome back to Music in a Minute. I'm here to bring you all the latest hot goss of the music world. Alex Warren is definitely far from ordinary, as he took to TikTok expressing technical issues he experienced performing at the 2026 Grammys. The video includes the echoed version of what was in his ear of his song. While viewers can read the text, quote, "When you're performing at the Grammys and all you hear is this in your ear," end quote. They are coming back like dynamite. BTS announced a documentary set to air on Netflix in partnership with Hive, titled BTS: The Return. It showcases the band as they reunite and create new music following their mandatory military service hiatus. Tune in March 21st, 8 p.m. Korean Standard Time to catch the return. Speaking of return, Noah Kahan has announced the Great Divide Tour for summer 2026, featuring 23 stadium and arena shows across North America. In support of his upcoming album, also named The Great Divide, the album is due to release April 24th, with tour dates starting June 11th and running all the way to August 30th. Well, that's all for this week's Music in a Minute. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you so much, Ellie. Go BTS Army. Well, that's a wrap for entertainment for UIWtv. I'm Kase Victoria. But don't go anywhere just yet. Sports is up next.
What's my routine? I don't know. I guess I just... Well, I eat healthy and I work out. There is help out there for you, and recovery is possible.
How was your day? Good, but I have a lot of work to do, sadly. Well, I'm sure you'll get it all done. Oh, and when you're done, can you help me with something later? Sir? Are you done yet?
Welcome back, Cardinals. I'm Fred Dominguez, and it's time to talk UIW sports. The UIW men's basketball team put up a fight Monday night against Southeastern Louisiana, but fell short by a score of 74-62. Davion Bailey led the Cardinals with 20 points and 3 steals. Jordan Pike added 13 points, and Taj Stavesky finished with 9. Incarnate Word kept pace, but couldn't overcome a strong shooting night from Southeastern Louisiana. Traditional sideline cheerleading is what UIW students are accustomed to. After that season ends, the lead up to Daytona begins. Training for the performances, the cheerleaders practice tumbling, stunning, and jumping to earn first place by making these skills solid. The season started December 10th and continues until the performances on April 7th through the 12th. To watch the Cardinal cheer team perform, you can watch them on Varsity TV, which can be purchased through the App Store. NBA Spurs player Victor Wembanyama dominated the Los Angeles Lakers with a spectacular 40-point performance, leading the San Antonio Spurs to a 136-108 win on Tuesday night in LA. Wembanyama scored 37 of his 40 points in the first half alone, marking the highest scoring half by any Spurs player in the play-by-play era this season. The victory marks the Spurs' 5th straight win as Wemby continues to establish himself as one of the NBA's top scorers. The NBA will be having their 75th All-Star Game this Sunday, February 15th in LA. The unique format for the game will have 3 teams made up of 1 world roster and 2 United States roster divided into USA Stars and USA Stripes team. The game is being held at the Intuit Dome, the new home for the LA Clippers this year, and will be the 7th All-Star Game in the Los Angeles area dating back to 1963. As with other league events, the basketball court will have an original design reflecting the USA versus the world matchups. Another first for the All-Star Game was the decision to not have a set number of players at any position. With that in mind, let's take a look at who was chosen on each squad. The World Squad will have our very own San Antonio Spurs star Victor Wembanyama as a starter. The group of international players joining Wemby includes Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Bucks, Portland's Denny Avdija, and Lakers star Luka Doncic. Teammates Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray will be representing the Denver Nuggets. Included as starters are Indiana Pacers' Pascal Siakam and New York Knicks big man Karl-Anthony Towns. Last year's league MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Oklahoma City Thunder was voted to be a starter on the world roster. However, due to his ab strain injury, he will not be able to play and has been replaced by Houston center Alperen Sengun. For the United States, the players on the Stars roster will have Toronto's Scottie Barnes, Devin Booker of the Phoenix Suns. Another set of teammates in the game will be Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren from the Detroit Pistons. Other starters are Ant-Man Anthony Edwards from the Timberwolves, and representing the reigning champions will be Chet Holmgren. Jalen Johnson from Atlanta and Tyrese Maxey of the 76ers will be present as well. Moving along, here's the players for the U.S. Stripes team. Starting with Jaylen Brown of Boston, one of New York's other stars, Jalen Brunson, Kevin Durant from the Rockets. Laker LeBron James will not need to travel far as he joins former Spur and current LA Clipper Kawhi Leonard. Donovan Mitchell of the Cavs and Norman Powell from Miami will be there too. Another injury replacement has been tabbed to replace injured three-point shooter Steph Curry. Getting the chance will be Brandon Ingram from the Raptors. The Las Vegas Raiders have named former Seahawks offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak as their new head coach, the team announced Tuesday. Kubiak takes over after helping lead Seattle's offense this past season. He replaces Pete Carroll as the Raiders look to reset following a 3-14 finish. Kubiak expressed gratitude for the opportunity and noticed his commitment to his values and faith as he takes over leadership of the Raiders. Las Vegas owns the #1 pick in the upcoming NFL draft and is turning to Kubiak to help rebuild the franchise. Well, now that you're all caught up, let's take a look at this week's games to watch. Houston, maybe another walk-off. And then on Monday, men's basketball will face off against New Orleans here at home, giving fans the opportunity to stick around for post-game autographs. Finally, women's basketball is hitting the road next week with their matchup against Northwestern State. That game will take place at 6:30 p.m. this upcoming Thursday. And that's all I have for sports today. For UIWtv, Fred Dominguez. But before I go, let's circle back to our social media question. This Valentine's, I'll be remembering my brother as well as taking a dance class with my wife. But I'm curious, what our viewers have to say. Ali?
Thank you, Fred. First of all, that sounds like a really fun idea to do for Valentine's. And let's turn it over to our responses, shall we? Ellie said, going to Galentine's. Nat said, I will be live, laugh, loving the people I love. And Kase said he will be going to a Brazilian steakhouse with his girlfriend. Sounds very, very yummy. Well, thank you guys for the responses. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at UIWtv for a chance to appear in our next newscast. And that's all the news we have for today. Thanks for tuning in.
We hope you have a wonderful Valentine's weekend. And join us for our next newscast on February 26th. I'm Lailah Fleming.
And I'm Alejandra Ortiz, and this has been UIWtv.